The racket is from the menopause cocktail and the same version for men straight into the nursing home. And when I talk to people, I go, it's not too late until you're in that nursing home. Once you're in there, it's too late. Whenever I write a book, the last 3, I've done this twice, with each book that I've written on the hormones, I go to a nursing home. I went to one in Toronto, I went to one in Miami, same thing in both places. You walk in, all the old people are tied to their wheelchairs, they're drugged on something because all their mouths are hanging open. If one yells, the whole hallway yells, and it is the most depressing place. There is not one person in this room who can conceive of ever ending up in a nursing home. And probably in this room you won't, because you know, you get it, you're onto it. But outside of this room, I'll tell you, it's a direct route. And it's a tragedy. Here you're doing all this incredible work so we can live longer and take advantage of this long life, and it is incredible. Once your kids are out of the house and they're married and they've got their own mortgage and it's not your problem anymore, you look at your husband and go, hey, it's nice. And remember me, I've got a sex drive because I'm on bioidentical hormones. And let's not discount that. I had a couple of years there before I found this where I had no sex drive. And it was humiliating because I was sort of known in my younger years as a sex symbol. And I thought, this is terrible that the sex symbol has no sex drive. I better not tell anybody, including my husband. Because, you know, we can fake it. But frankly, I'd rather have a smoothie. And then I found bioidentical hormones. And woohoo! Wow, it's great. You know, I talk to women, they go, oh, I'm glad that's over with. And oh, I'm glad I'm past that. I go, oh, you just forgot. You just forgot how nice it is. And it's so lovely to be married at this age and not be married to someone who's looking over your shoulder when you're dancing because there's a sexuality between you. There's pheromones between you. When I'm in a room, I can tell who are on hormones or who still have their hormones. We put out pheromones. They're not, you can't see them, but you can feel them around someone. There's an electricity between people who still have their sex hormones. And it's an incredible thing. It makes for a happier life, happier marriage, a satisfying life. Life is really wonderful from middle age on. Better, really better. You don't have all the angst of your youth. You don't have to worry about what you're going to do with your life. You've done it, or you haven't done it. Whatever it is, that's that. Or when you get on bioidentical hormones, everything peaks up again, and you can start thinking of second careers. And a lot of people do that. I did that. I did about my 10th career. But it gives you the energy to regenerate yourself. I was with some people last week who are my age and a little older. And what I notice about aging is there are those who have energy and those who are out of gas. And that's really the difference. It's not about the number. It's not about the chronological age. It's about energy. And one of the things that I've been practicing in my anti-aging regimen with my Dr. Gallitzer is energy rejuvenation. And that is just an incredible thing. I just came back from New York last night. I don't know about any of you. I was on the tarmac for 6.5 hours. But I thought, you know, because I'm on bioidentical hormones, I'm not stressed, I'm kind of happy, I'll just read a book, get real relaxed. And I think about the 3 years I was without hormones and I would have been yelling at everybody. And I saw everybody yelling at everybody, but I didn't feel like it. And I saw that I had energy and the people around me did not have any energy. And that is such a gift to be able to get that back. You see it in older people. They're stooped over and they just, every step is laborious. Every thought is laborious. It just takes so much energy and they don't have it anymore. So all of these things are incredible advantages. And that's really what you are all practicing now is advantage medicine. It's an advantage to be on bioidentical hormones. It's an advantage to be able to clean the viruses out of your system. It's an advantage to be able to build up after a trip, like I will tomorrow when I go back home, because I've been on different regimens. So I want to go in and have either whatever he decides, vitamin C or glutathione or whatever it is, to build me back up again. This is connect the dots thinking. I lost energy on the trip, we'll put it back. I've lost hormones in the aging process, I put it back. One of the things that I run into all the time relative to bioidentical hormones is all the different ways that people are doing them. And bioidentical hormones are the answer, but doing them right is really the answer. The way I feel, and this is just my opinion only, is that we want to replicate nature. And nature made estrogen every day of the month in a rhythm. Nature made progesterone 2 weeks of the month. And so by replicating nature, my brain thinks that I'm still a reproductive person. No problem, I have no eggs left. We really should call menopause egglessness. We're out of eggs. I have women who say to me, oh gosh, I don't want to get pregnant. I go, oh, don't worry. Don't worry. Eggs are interesting. All of us women are born with eggs. We all only get a certain amount of eggs. Some of us get more, some of us get less. But when they're out, they're out. And stress uses up your hormones. You want to do things in life that minimize hormonal loss. And so bioidentical hormones, when given incorrectly, can cause as many problems for women as the synthetics. Maybe not quite so dangerous, but a lot of women, like I was with a woman last night who had had a hysterectomy, and she was hot flashing, and her eyes were watering, and she was talking about how she's gaining weight, and she's not eating, and she exercises, and I said, are you on bioidenticals? Yes, I'm on bioidenticals. And she's on a patch that is a static dose, so I didn't even want to get into it. And I said, and what kind of progesterone are you on? She said, I'm not on progesterone. I said, why aren't you on progesterone? She said, because I don't have a uterus anymore. I said, yeah, but you got to trick the brain into believing that you still have a uterus. You should talk to your doctor about that. So women are very confused. And one day, when there's standardization, it will be a great thing for everybody. When everyone decides on static dosing, continuous combined, or rhythmic cycling. I personally do a rhythmic cycling. I like the idea of mimicking early man. I like taking my estrogen early, lower amount early in the month, by the 12th day peaking, and then shoving in the progesterone and peaking that. And I feel so great on this rhythmic. I feel so great on bioidenticals. I have no hot flashing. Weight is not a problem. I sleep 8 and 9 hours a night. I have lots of energy. I like the way I look. My brain is working great. It's just an absolute bliss to have at my fingertips this kind of medicine. And I know that if I was going back to the doctors that I once went to, who I love, that was the hard part. I love them. And everybody's doing their best. There are no bad people in this field. Everybody's doing their best. But what I tell women when I speak to them is, you are on your own right now. You have to go out and find one of you. And I can only do so much with my books. You can look in the back of my books, and if there's somebody in your area, go to that person. If you have to drive, if you have to fly to find this, because you know it's the first visit that's the most important, and after that, you can do a lot by phone calls and lab work. But do it. Find it. Go out of your way. No one will be as sorry as you if you don't do this for yourself. So this incredible thing that you're all doing, and the fact that you come to these conferences several times a year is so impressive, because you're all busy people. You've all got practices. It's hard to close down a practice for a couple of days to come to a conference, but it's so essential, because I know what I'm learning in researching and interviewing doctors for my next book. I can imagine what you're learning. I've been interviewing some amazing doctors. I interviewed Dr. Jonathan Wright a couple of weeks ago, and I said things to him like, well, do we have to, my mother was blind, do we have to accept macular degeneration as part of the aging process? Or is it the depletion of the ozone level? Or is it a lutein deficiency? I said, is it a genetic predisposition? My mother was blind with macular degeneration the last 15 years of her life. He said, well, you know, you'll be very surprised to find out where macular degeneration starts. And I said, exposure to the sun? No. He said, in the stomach. I said, in the stomach? In the stomach? He said, yes. As we reach middle age, we are depleted in hydrochloric acid. He said, I find when I put the hydrochloric acid back in, He said, we have had great success with macular